Most investors think they manage their portfolio, but when volatility hits, the portfolio often starts managing them. That's what happens when you invest without a framework. A falling portfolio doesn't just change the numbers on your screen. It changes the way you think. A position that looked attractive 6 months ago suddenly feels broken. A stock that just went up feels safer than it really is. And the more volatile the market becomes, the more tempting it is to react. That's when short-term performance starts replacing the original reason you bought the investment. You stop managing the portfolio by purpose and start managing it by pain. A framework doesn't remove drawdowns. It makes temporary drawdowns easier to live through. When every position has a defined role, you can separate temporary volatility from a real change in the investment thesis. That matters because many long-term returns are only available to investors who can stay invested through periods that feel uncomfortable. Without a framework, discomfort often becomes action. With a framework, discomfort becomes something you can evaluate. But a framework can do more than help you survive volatility. It can help you exploit it selectively. It helps you recognize when doing nothing is the right decision, and when volatility may actually create an opportunity to strengthen the portfolio. Cash can be deployed more deliberately. Strong long-term positions can be evaluated for additions, and weaker positions don't get protected simply because they've already fallen. Volatility stops being something you only endure. With a framework, it becomes something you can evaluate and sometimes use to your advantage. The next step is to stop treating every position as if it has the same role. A long-term core holding should not be managed like a tactical trade. A small asymmetric bet should not carry the same expectations as a core position. And cash is not simply money doing nothing. It can act as dry powder. Once positions are grouped by role, the portfolio becomes easier to manage, even in volatile environments. Each segment has a different purpose, time horizon, and decision process. That means market volatility no longer sends the same signal across the entire portfolio. The same 15% decline can mean very different things, depending on why that position exists. That is where segmentation comes in. Different positions have different roles, and they should be managed accordingly. If you want the full methodology behind the 6 segments, I've linked the dedicated playlist below. For now, let's focus on how to put that framework into practice. A framework is useful only if you can apply it consistently. That's where the starter workbook comes in. It guides you through a structured set of questions, designed to help you identify the role of each position and assign it to the segment that best fits its purpose. It helps you move from, "What do I own?" to, "Why do I own it? And what role should it play?" And once that structure is in place, the workbook gives you a clearer way to analyze, review, and manage each position over time. The process starts with the position itself. You enter the holding, define the investment intent, and answer the structured questions about why it belongs in the portfolio. From there, the workbook helps map that reasoning to the appropriate segment. Once the position has a defined role, it becomes much easier to analyze, review, and manage it consistently over time. If you want to apply this framework to your own portfolio, you can download or copy the free starter workbook from the link below. Use it to classify your positions, document why they belong in the portfolio, and build a clearer process for analyzing, reviewing, and managing them over time. The framework is there to guide your thinking. The workbook is there to help you put it into practice. Start with one position. Give it a role. Then build the system from there.